Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you have had a beautiful and relaxed weekend. And happy Memorial Day, my supporters in the US. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. If you have already subscribed to my channel, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much. And if you ahead and click on the subscribe button, don't forget to click on the like, don't forget to do the share, and oh my goodness, how I'd love to read about your comments. Please put comments down there as well. And you know what? Don't forget the bigger part of this all. Click on that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my videos again. I drop videos every Sunday around 6, 7 p.m. Eastern. So you will get that notification if you have it turned on. While you're trying to get all your notifications and subscriptions into place, I'm going to give you a few minutes or a few seconds. I will be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for staying tuned. I am the travel expert at Thia's Travel Services. My name is Cynthia, but everyone calls me Thia, and so hey, I will be sharing 5 of my tips on how to plan your trip in 2021. No, 5. Okay, 5 tips on how you can plan your trip in 2021. What is your budget? That should be your primary concern, really, at the planning stage or even at the thinking stage, because that will determine if you can afford the trip or not. You know, that particular stage covers hotel accommodations, flights, just name it, car rental, you know, whatever means of transportation you need to be able to get there, feeding, excursions, you know, which is the activities that you're going to do when you're there, options that you need to weigh. And this is usually the first question I ask my clients when we have our first meeting. That will help both of us, you know, from both sides, so to speak, determine what it is that could be fitted into the entire trip. Number 2, what is your goal for the trip? What is the purpose of the trip? Do you want to pack it with a lot of activities, or do you just want to have a relaxed vacation? This is usually the number one question I ask my clients when we set a meeting, our first meeting. You know, that helps both parties to be able to narrow down expectations and, you know, unforeseen circumstances, and we then have no control over. So if I am your travel expert, which is where I come in, or travel expert comes in, we literally take over that entire stress, you know. But if you're a do-it-yourself person, you need to go and search for this information, gather this information, because this step is actually part of your primary setting on how to put the vacation or the trip together. Of course, as your travel expert, I make you look like a superhero when I take over that entire stress, own it, run with it, and all you have to do is make sure you pack your bags and make sure you have your travel documents and make sure to get on that flight. Number 3, do your research. You know, I know that there are lots, billions of do-it-yourself people out there, or travel enthusiasts, or overall DIYs out there. And I really admire your energy, and, you know, to be able to sit down and plan this whole trip by yourself. But make sure, if you are a DIY person, ask travelers, join different groups, on the internet, bloggers, travelers, travel enthusiasts. Join those groups so that you can get information. And sometimes you never know, there might just be other people who are taking that same kind of journey with you or traveling about the same time with you. And by the time you connect with them on those social those well, by the time you connect with them on the social media platforms, you probably end up being friends with them and plan the journeys together, making it a bit lighter for you. But again, where I come in, this particular stage mostly comes across or seems to be the most overwhelming part of planning your trip. And that is because you have to make sure of a very important part, which is travel information. Visa requirements, documentations. Those information are everywhere on the internet, but it could be overwhelming. But when you have or hire a travel expert, all those information are things that they put together for you. In a nutshell, you really do need a travel expert. You really do need me to plan it all for you, to make it all make sense to you. Reading a law book and not understanding it. And that's the same thing with the internet. And when it not just the internet, but when it comes to specific things, the accountant understands how to keep the books, or how to record entries on the books. A lawyer knows how to talk about cases in courts and draft those memos. And same as a travel expert, we go to school for these things. And if some of us didn't go to school, we are well versed. We are well, we know our products. We know people to be able to make sure that we get you firsthand information. Another part of this is make sure you will be safe where you go to. Make sure to investigate the culture, the people, very important. Respect it. Don't forget, you are a guest on their land. Just to close this particular tip, never forget this. If you forget anything else I'm going to tell you today or I'm telling you today, it's okay. You can go online and do all your research and collate all your information, but it's for looking. Your travel expert is for booking that trip. Number 4, create a fluid itinerary. What does that mean? If you're planning to just relax most of the time besides the ocean, then you don't need a heavy itinerary. But if you're planning to do quite a bit of activities, first things first that I suggest is at least do a minimum of 5 days. And don't overwhelm yourself. Don't do them back to back. Like typically how I plan my clients' trips, and when it comes to the activity part, is if it's a 5-day, I make sure they have like a 3-day worth of activities, and it's not every day; it's every other day. And if it's a 7-day, even better. I would make sure at least they have a good 5 days worth of activities incorporated in their vacation. And if you feel like, sometimes some of us feel like we're running out of time, try to do maybe one in the early part of the day and then one in the later part of the day, or just before sunset, because you're a visitor there and you want to be aware of your surroundings. And the best and easiest way to do that is during the day, in broad daylight, where at least you can see and perceive and be much more alert and observant. As you plan this fluid itinerary, make sure to be present in the moment. After each adventure, you have time to process it. You have time to mindfully think through it, and enjoy the moment. Number five, book your means of transportation and accommodation early enough. I've had clients call me like a few days or a week, couple of weeks before their vacation and expect to have extremely discounted packages. I personally call it a myth. I mean, and why do I do that? It's based on experience. You have to put a few things, you have to put a few factors into check here. The season, you know, the season, a huge part in planning your vacation. You can't tell me that if you want to, maybe for instance, go to the Dominican Republic on the 27th of June this year, and you're calling me today and you're expecting that you are going to get a discount in terms of traveling there, flights or accommodation. No, because remember, this is a season, this is a school end season. Schools are closed. Parents and families, or parents and children, are going away on this trip. They booked their trip months in advance, if not even 6 months out. I always recommend at least 6 months in advance to your journey. Book the flights, book the accommodations, because it's all based on it's all based on pricing and availability. It's not based on when you want to travel. So do your due diligence. Book it out in advance. Sometimes it's always better to book the flights in advance. Even if you're thinking of changing the dates, maybe you would only add maybe a few dollars here, a few dollars there to the flights, but at least you have that in place and you don't have to cough out all that money at one time. And this is the end of the video. This is all the tips I have. This is exactly what I do when I plan vacations for my clients. If you have any tips to share, please feel free to add them in the comments. I would love to also learn from you. And yes, see you soon.